Next up on America Outdoors Radio, it is hunting season for most of us, and unfortunately, every hunting season, there are accidents that result in injuries and fatalities. That's why we've got Bob Baldwin on the line. He's coming at us today from northern Michigan. He's an avid bow hunter. As a matter of fact, he is the man behind bowhuntinginfo.com. He also has written a book with his hunting partner Jay Ledbetter called Proper Care and Feeding of a Hunting Buddy, and Jay and Bob also have a YouTube channel, and you can find that at Bob NJ. That's Bob, letter NJ. Check it all out. I think you'll enjoy it. Bob, welcome to the show.
Boy, John, it's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Like I said, unfortunately, every year with hunting season comes hunting accidents. Let's talk about the number one thing you can do to prevent a lot of these hunting accidents, and it all comes down to not hunting alone, doesn't it?
You know, in my opinion, it really does. We've written this book, Proper Care and Feeding of a Hunting Buddy, and it's really a humorous articulation of some of our escapades. But really, it's more about being safe when we're in the wild. Jay and I have hunted in Ontario, Alberta, Colorado, Montana, Texas, Michigan, number of places. And some of those places, being out there in the wild, just getting into a tree stand, doing things with guns or with bows and arrows and things like that, those are all dangerous or can be dangerous things. And it's important to have somebody that knows where you're at, knows how to reach you, knows if something is going to go wrong, that somebody that very quickly can be there to take care of whatever might happen. So one of the first safety features from my perspective, and you hear this frequently, let somebody know where you're going to be, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, it's funny you say this. I actually broke my leg, not this August, but the August prior, and I broke all those rules. I was camping with the dog, and I was going to go to one place, and at the last minute, changed my mind, went to another place where there was no cell service. I took a fall, broke my leg right above the ankle, and I was in a bit of a pickle there. I managed to extricate myself, but that was not the smart thing to do. So you're absolutely right about let somebody know where you're going, where you're going to be, and when you're expected back. But getting back to hunting with somebody else, I think to myself of the hunting accidents that I hear about. You know, with waterfowl hunters, number one cause is people falling out of boats without a life jacket and drowning. Another thing you hear about is hunters in bear country. As a matter of fact, there was just a grizzly bear attack on a pheasant hunter near Choteau, Montana. And again, these hunters generally who suffer these bear attacks, they're hunting alone. What are some of the other common accidents that you see every year?
Well, I hope I don't see very many of them, but there's almost always an accident where a hunter shoots at or shoots somebody for whatever reason. And I got to tell you, I remember as a 12-year-old hunting squirrels during the day and bow hunting in the afternoon. I remember an incident where your mind, people don't realize that your mind can play tricks on you. What you think you see isn't necessarily what's there. That's why people will very frequently say, I thought it was a deer. And the example that I had, and I tell this story to everybody that I talk to, I'd been shooting squirrels with a .22 during the day, and I'd shot 4 or 5 squirrels the previous day, and I went out one early morning, bow hunting, going out to a place, and I saw just off the trail that I was on, I saw what I thought was a tail of a squirrel flipping, right? You know how a squirrel flips that tail around? And I turned to look. I had an arrow on my bow, and I looked at that, and I immediately saw a squirrel. It wasn't a squirrel. It was another one of my friends bow hunting, and he had a pair of black gloves on, and he was waving his hand just like a squirrel would wave his tail. And I thought it was a squirrel. I could have shot him. I was within a gnat's hair of drawing my bow and taking a shot at that. So people need to realize that what your mind will play tricks on you. Make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're trying to take a shot at before you do so.
That is a great story and some great advice. One other thing we should touch on, used to be quite a few ad campaigns about this, and PSAs don't hear them as much anymore. Tree stand accidents, that's still a leading cause of accidents in the field, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I have fallen out of a tree on more than one occasion. And frankly, I've reached a point where I take Matthew chapter 28 literally, where it says, and lo, I am with you always, right? So, but that's a perfect example. And it's another one of those reasons why you want to make certain that you're hunting with somebody, because even if you've got a safety harness on, if you can't extract yourself from the safety harness, you can cut the circulation off on your legs if you end up going upside down. I mean, there's still lots and lots of danger with tree stands, right? So make sure that when you're hunting, and look, I've got a son-in-law who hunts by himself all the time, and I tell him, let me know where you're going to be. How do I find you? Don't change places without letting us know. So by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, if you're not in there, I know to start telling my bride to start looking for a new husband.
Well, absolutely fantastic advice. Woven in with some great stories. And folks, if you buy the book by Bob Baldwin and Jay Ledbetter, Proper Care and Feeding of a Hunting Buddy, you'll get a whole lot more of this. And again, check out their YouTube channel, Bob and Jay, and don't forget to check out bowhuntinginfo.com too. Bob, thanks for sharing all of this with us, and I suspect I'm going to be ringing you up again to be on America Outdoors Radio.
We would love it very much. Next time, maybe I'll let you talk with Jay because he's a lot funnier than I am. So thanks so much, John.